Okay, there we go. Can y'all hear me now? Sorry about that. Looks like my mic was not picking up anything. That was not good. Can y'all hear me now? Okay, there. Sorry about that. StreamYard, I'm not StreamYard. Oh, my OBS was acting up weirdly today. You can hear me now. Apologize for the silence. I'm Valor. Y'all can hear me now. And I want to just want to do some quick little audio check. Game capture. Audio, that's good, that's good, that's good. Okay. Sorry for the delay. I'm also dealing on a bad leg. So let's take a look here. I'm going to switch to my studio mode to see our first game up today. Is prime time number 5. We got the New York Voyagers visiting the Cancun Toros. I'm going to pull it up. We got Taylor Adkins versus John Cowgill as your matchup. And I do got some notes from our lovely stats team. Hang on, let me grab my phone so I can read to you this wall of text provided to me. All right, and I see they also got the milestones as well. All right, I'm gonna skip the players to watch, because I want to get for this quick. Both teams are coming off a 2-game series loss on the road. Cancun is tied for first in the Champions West Division, while New York is tied for second in the Legends East Division. Let's compare the team's batting lineup. Cancun has had a total of 29 home runs so far this year compared to New York's 16. They're also bringing 20 more runs than New York. They can thank their player to watch, Gnome Child, who has been a great player to watch. New York does have more triples than Cancun, along with their ability to get on bases with balls. The pitching side, New York looks to continue their strong performance in pitching. They have 2 shutouts and 191 strikeouts that make them a tough, tough opponent to bat against. Cancun does come prepared, though, with less errors and home runs allowed. Cancun barely has the upper hand ERA with a .18 difference. On the fielding side, New York comes into the game with a .7.4 zone rating, which blows Cancun's minus -0.7 out of the park. They also have 3 more putouts compared to the Toros. Toros do have 2 less errors and 3 more double plays compared to the Voyagers. Okay, I'm done with my spinning. So, without further ado, let's get into the game, shall we? All right. We start with Von Christelhauser. He's going to ground out to the shortstop to start us off. We have Brian Payne coming up next. He's going to strike out here to Cowgill. And can you take me higher here? He's also going to strike out here. So good 1-2 free inning for the Toros, with Gnome Child coming up to the bat here against Taylor Adkins. And he's going to ground out to first to start us off. Miles Meredith coming up next. And he's going to fly out to left, just missing on a low pitch. And here's the hot hitting Napoleon Solo, who's going to ground out the short. And that's going to be another 1-2 free inning for here. Pitcher's duel ready, but let's see what happens with Azuro Tanaka, who's going to get the first base hit of the game as it gets past the second baseman. Here's Nola Tegi. They're going to send Tanaka, and he's going to be out by a mile. Not even close. As Tegi's going to get a free pass on a full count. Here's Adam Cole Bebe. Fly ball to right. It's going to get caught for the second out. And here's Diego Ramirez, who's also going to draw a full count walk. Cowgill's second walk. Let's see if Devontae Moore can drive in these runs. Nope, it's going to be a fierce choice at second that's going to end the inning. Here are the Toros with Victor Cortez. It's a soft liner to the shortstop. It's going to be down for the first out. Here's Mengi Berlina, who's going to strike out. Turnando Mallorain, also going to strike out here. So Taylor Atkins has been perfect through 2. Let's see if this holds up. It probably won't. Henry Magic's going to ground out to the second baseman to start the inning off. Back to the top of the order with Von Christelhauser, who's going to ground out to third. And back to Brian Payne facing a free 1 count. He's going to swing and ground out to second. So another 1-2 free inning. Back to the Tours with Carlton Beatty, who hits a towering pop-up that's going to get caught by the third baseman for the first out. Here's Griffin Stone. It's a swing, and they do get the out at first. And here's Ejectocito, free one count. Oh, that's through the first baseman. That's going to be a stand-up double for Ejectocito. He's thinking about going for free, and that throw is not in time. It's a 2-out triple for Cito. Here's Gnome Child. Fly ball to center, and it's going to drop. He's going to get to second. It's an RBI double, and the Toros take a 1-0 lead. Here's Miles Meredith. Check swing. It's going to be a wild pitch that moves Child to and another one that's going to move him not only to third but also home. So it's 2-0 Cancun just like that. Same at bat, and Meredith's going to line out to the shortstop to end the third. And here's back to the Voyagers. Can they answer? Can You Take Me Higher is going to strike out the Cowgill here. Israel Tanaka is also going to strike out looking here. Nolan Teggy is also strikes out the side. What a performance so far by Cowgill. We go to the bottom of the fourth with a red-hot Napoleon Solo, who is going to draw a full count walk. So the leadoff walk here, Victor Cortez. Solo's going to take off for second, and he's going to be in there easily. His 22nd stolen base of the season already. And Cortez is going to get a base hit here. They're going to hold Solo at third. So let's see what happens here with Brolina coming up here. Line drive caught by the shortstop to take away a potential run. And here's O'Mallory. Oh, and Cortez is going to get thrown out at first. What a base running blunder there. And fly ball to center. And that blunder comes back to haunt the Toros. They're unable to get any runs as we go to the top of the fifth. Here's Adam Cole Bebe. Fly ball to center. It's going to be easily caught for the out. Diego Ramirez coming up here. He's going to only get the Voyagers' second hit of the day. It's been a rough day in the office for the hitting. And then maybe now's the time to get out of the slump. And here's another hit by Devontae Moore, but it's going to be runners at first and second with 1 out for the ninth hitter, Henry Magic. The only play they can get is an out at first, but it's a productive one. Ken Von Kriestelhauser tied the game here with a hit. No, he's going to strike out here, stranding runners at second and third. Here's Carlton Beatty coming up here for the Toros. He's going to ground out the short to start us off. Griffin Stone. He's going to line this past the first baseman for a base hit. It's going to be a stand-up double for him. Here's Ejectocito. Fly ball. That's going to drop in front of the right fielder for a base hit. Runners on the corners with 1 out with Gnome Child coming up here. And the bases are going to be loaded from Miles Meredith. And, oh, Adkins is going to walk in a run to make this 3-0. Here's Napoleon Solo. Ground ball. Do they get the out? They get the out at home, but the runner at first is safe. Cortez. Grounder. That's going to end the inning here, but not before Cancun takes a 3-0 lead. Back to the Voyagers with Brian Payne. That's going to drop for a base hit. And here's Can You Take Me Higher? Who's going to take a called strike 3 for Cowgill's 7th strikeout of the day. Tanaka, softly hit ball. They get him out at second. I thought he looked safe there. I'm not sure. He probably slid off the bag. Nolan Teggy. They are going to send Tanaka. And for the second time, he's been thrown out stealing. Rough day in the office for the Voyagers. Back to the Tours with Brolina. That's a towering fly ball to center. And what a leaping grab there by Von Kriestelhauser. Sorry, I'm getting used to names again. This is my first stream. And O'Mallory's going to get a base hit here that drops in front of right. Here's Carlton Beatty facing a full count. And he's going to swing and a miss here for Adkins' third strikeout. Here's Stone. It's going to drop in front of the left fielder. The throw is not in time. It's an it's a double here. Cito can bust this thing wide open. And it gets past the third baseman. 1 run is in, 2 runs are in. Ejectocito is there with a bases clearing double to make this 5-0. And Claudio Kilgannon's now in for the Voyagers. As Gnome Child hits a fly ball that's going to get caught in left for the third out. Top of the 7th here. Cowgill still in as Teggy hits a towering pop-up that's going to get caught by the third baseman. Adam Cole Bebe. Soft pitch to the pitcher, but he's going to throw him out at first anyway. Diego Ramirez facing a full count, and he's going to swing and a miss. Cowgill's eighth strikeout, seventh innings of no runs allowed. Back to the Toros as Miles Meredith is going to draw a 4-pitch walk. Here's the high hitting Napoleon Solo. Meredith's going to take off, and that throw is not in time. 12 stolen bases of the season for Meredith. Unfortunately for Solo, he can't advance Meredith as he grounds out there. Here's Victor Cortez, who's going to ground out to the first baseman, but it is going to move Meredith to third. Here's Brolina. That's going to get down for a base hit and make this a 6-0 ball game. And here's a Mallory, full count. And that's going to drop in front of the left fielder. That's going to advance Brolina to third. Here's Beatty. And the bases are loaded for with 2 outs for Griffin. So let's see what he can do here. He's going to ground out to the first baseman and kill any chance of any more runs. Here's Devontae Moore. Hammered right to the left fielder for the first out. Henry Magic. And now, looks like the new pitcher in is De Los Santos. And he gives up a bomb to Henry Magic that breaks up the shutout bid. This is Magic's first home run of the season, putting him at 9 RBIs. Von Christelhauser coming in now. He's going to strike out here. Brian Payne coming up. Fly ball. That's going to get down. That's going to get to the gap. That's going to be an easy double there for Brian Payne. Can you take me higher? He could take it higher to a fly out. That'll end the inning. All right, back to the Toros with Ejectocito. He's going to ground out the third to start us off. Noam Child, full count. Oh, misplayed by the left fielder. Went over his head. What was Can You Take Me Higher do? He's thinking about stretching the third, and he's in there. It's an RBI. It's a triple for him, not RBI, and there's nobody on. And now Big Rooster in for the Voyagers, who strikes out Meredith. And here's Solo. How about a 7-1 ball game? Solo with an RBI double probably puts the icing on the cake on this game. Cortez. Fly ball to left. It's going to get caught. Okay, last chance here for the Voyagers. Tanaka is going to line out to the second baseman. Nolan Teggy is going to hit a little pop-up that's going to be caught by the first baseman in foul territory. And Adam Colbebe strikes out. The Toros win this one 7-1. All right, I'm going to go for this box score quick. 2 RBI day for Ejectocito. Probably going to be player. I think the player of the game is not going to be him. I think it's going to be Cowgill. Couple steals there. Yep, I was correct. It was Cowgill who's player of the game. Okay, so I'm going to try to do this as fast as I can. So I'm going to just slowly go. I'm going to go for the box scores, not go for individual ones. GMs, if you're in the chat, please screenshot them. So, all right. So here we go. Sloss 5-1 winners over the Apex. Death Valley wins by unfunny score. New Orleans wins 4-3. Providence wins 5-2. Detroit wins 7-4. Nashville wins 5-4. Boise wins 5-2. And as usual, I will save the game. And also complete game for horrendous Hiccup horrendous Haddock the third. Okay. Let's finish today and go on to our next game on the schedule. And according to my thing, it's San Antonio and Indianapolis. That's right. Prime time number 6 is coming up here. Oh, I forgot to read the thing. Oh, well, if you're a Red Sox fan, I got some breaking news for you. Alex Cora was just fired by the team. Yep, you heard it here. It was 7-6, Tampa. I know you're in here. Okay. This matchup pretty split, but it does favor. It looks like it favors. It's an even split here. All right. Let's do this game. Indianapolis and San Antonio. All right. Does anyone want to put up a prediction real quick? Or were there minors games? Let me take a look. I believe the minors was off yesterday. Let me back up. Let's take a look. Yeah, I'm on world scores. And the minors were off. The minors were off. So they are, the minors was off. Just showing you to make sure. McScooty, just want to show you that the minors were off. No problem. All right, let's get back into Apex Sloths for this primetime game. Because I don't want to get sidetracked. All right. Here we go. Primetime number 6. Indianapolis and San Antonio. We start off with Gerrymander drawing a walk. Scoden. Fly ball to center. It's going to get caught. And Littleton. Fly ball to right. It's going to get caught there. Here's the hot hitting Stetson Laramie. Fly ball to right. It's going to get caught. So they get the opening walk. Not much they can do. Back to the Apex with D. Fernandez Jr. against Chad Innings Eater. And once again, it also starts off with a leadoff walk. I do like the Apex jerseys, though, with the tire thing. That's a nice detail. Fernandez Jr. is also going to steal second to start us off. As Brent Goldberg comes to bat, he's going to strike out. Here's McInlay, who's also going to strike out. Rosenthal, also a strikeout victim. Why do I get the most cursed face swaps? I don't know why. Press Duckley Jr. Full count, he's going to ground out the second. Although player to be named later does get walked. Turd Ferguson. That's going to be the first base hit of the game. That's going to advance player to be named later to third. And here's Alan Greer, who's going to strike out here. Here's Wyatt Little. Fly ball deep to center. Not going to... And that's going to end this inning. One hit, unable to advance. Here's I think the name is Kuski. I can't say his name backwards. That name. Babbitt Person is going to ground out to second. Fyodor Geisel, formerly of the Hepcats. He's cold, and he's going to stay cold by grounding out to first. Something chilly about first base. I don't know why. Back to the top of the order with Sloss with Gerrymander, who's going to get a base hit. Scoden coming up here. He's going to fly out to center. Rob Littleton. That's going to drop in front of the left fielder for a base hit. Here's the hot end Stetson Laramie, who's going to strike out. Press Duckley Jr. He's going to ground out to second. That's going to end the inning. Okay, back to Indy with Monstar getting a base hit. That's going to be a double to the line. It's a stand-up double. Here's Esteban Santos Garcia coming up here facing a full count, and he's gonna draw a walk. D. Fernandez Jr. Oh, couldn't handle that. That was too hot to handle. They're gonna call that an infield hit. Brent Goldberg, bases loaded, nobody out. Fly ball to the left, but based on the fielding, yeah, not gonna test that arm. McInlay. Fly ball to center. Are they going to test the arm? They will, and they're just going to cut the throw off, and Indy's going to take the lead. Leon Rosenthal, full count. Ground ball. That's going to be only one out there. Player to be named later is going to ground out there. Turd Ferguson gets by. It's a little dribbler base hit. Alan Greer. That's also going to be a base hit. Runners on first and second with one out for Wyatt Little. Let's see what you can do here. There's nothing Whittle about that pop up to the catcher. And here's Gerrymander. Full count swing, and we got an error at first. Let's see if the Sloths can take advantage of the error. Scoden can take advantage of the error. The answer? Nope. Force out at third. Womp, womp, womp. That sucks. Yedif coming up here. Hammered to left. Kiss that baby goodbye. That is a solo bomb. 2-0 Indianapolis. And here's Dave Babbitt Person coming up here. He's going to ground out the second. Holden and Geisel. And unfortunately, he is still frozen somewhere. Was somewhere frozen in an Indianapolis River. Here's Monstar, who's going to draw a walk. Santos Garcia is going to strike out here the NC inning, but not before that home run there by Yediv makes this a 2-0 Apex lead. We go top of the fifth with Rob Littleton. Little dribbler ground ball that's going to be for the first out. Stetson Laramie is going to strike out here. Preston Duckley Jr. also strikes out. Biggest Tittis Smidius. 4th strikeout of the game. I always get the weirdest names. Back to top of the order with D. Fernandez Jr. striking out the innings eater. Goldberg. Hammer, deep left. Is that going to get out? Yes, indeed. Kiss that baby goodbye for Brent Goldberg. His 2nd home run of the season, and it's 3-0 Apex. McInlay, grounder the first, going to be easily brought down for the 2nd out. And here's Rosenthal. Dribbler to the shortstop, that's going to be an easy out. Top of the 6th we go with player to be named later, facing a full count, and Smithis is going to strike him out here. Turd Ferguson, one of my favorite names. Hits a pop-up in foul territory, going to be caught by the catcher for the 2nd out. And here's Alan Greer, one of my favorite players in the minors with Florida last season, who's going to fly out to left. Back to the apex with Yediv in a full count. Little dribbler to the pitcher, unable to beat out the throw for the 1st out. Here's Dave Babbitt Person. There's no Babbitt there as I see a ground out. And Fedor Geisel is going to get a base hit. That's over the shortstop's head. There you go. Monstar. Uh-oh, that's deep center. And caught at the wall. Missed it, but not by much. And here's Whittle coming up top of the 7th. New pitcher in being James Noble, and he gives up a deep drive. And gets caught, but glitches for the wall anyway. I don't know, man. Apex, your walls need to be repaired. Gerrymander, oh, he got nailed. Right in his side. Free pass for him. Scoden is going to take a called strike 3. Beautifully framed. Littleton also strikes out. Stretch time in Indy. New pitcher in for the Slavs. It's Nilium. And he gives up a fly ball that's going to be caught at left for Santos Garcia. And here's D. Fernandez Jr. coming up again. And he's going to ground out to... Nope, that's an error. The 3rd baseman bobbled it. Goldberg. D. Fernandez Jr. is going to steal. And that is indeed his 13th stolen base of the season. And Goldberg's going to get a free pass as well. There's McInlay. Hammered. 2. Oh my God, Rob. Oh my goodness. Duckley Jr. just took away a 3-run shot. Oh my God. Rosenthal. Oh, pass ball. That's going to advance the runners. Hold up. And he gets a base hit. Is that going to... 1 run's in. 2 runs are in. It's a bases clearing single, making it 5-0 Indy. Yediv. Fly ball to center. Easily playable and caught. Laramie. Strikes out. Preston Duckley Jr. Gets it past the 1st baseman. You know that's a double. You know the OTP animations by this point. Player to be named later. Grounds out to 1st. Turd Ferguson. Grounder to 1st to the pitcher. And that's out number 3. We go bottom 8. With Babbitt Person. Dribbler gets past the 2nd baseman for the for base hit. Geisel. Grounder, that could be 2, and it is indeed a double play. And here's Monstar coming up here. Grounder right to the 1st baseman. That's going to go to the top of the 9th. Last chance for the Sloths. Noble still in. Greer's going to ground out to 3rd to start us off. Here's Whittle. Lined out to 3rd. Last chance with Gerrymander. Fly ball to center, going to be easily caught there, and the Apex pick up a 5-0 win. All right, I'm going to just pull for the box score. I think the pitcher is probably going to be player of the game, knowing my luck. It's always pitching. See? Always pitching. Who doesn't love a good pitcher? Hi KDR, how you doing? Welcome to the Valor. Welcome to the Valor show on PBE. Okay, you know what I do here. I show box scores I'm reading from real quick. Surge 2-1 winners of the Death Valley Scorpions. They've been having a rough year, so picking up a win there is huge. 15 inning game between the Rougarou and Aviators, but New Orleans getting to 500 with a win. DeVries dominant against Providence to give Seattle the win. Vancouver, despite a late comeback by Detroit, it will be the Vandals pick the win. Toronto pulls up an upset win, 6-3 in Nashville. That's a pretty surprising one. Boise. Oh, look. Lone Star won a game already. Hey, buddy. I know you're watching, but looks like you won on my stream. Boise moving one step closer to 500. Toros seem to get lucky on my stream. They pick up a 4-2 win over the Voyagers. Minor league scores. Firehawks move up to 500 with a 5-1 win over the Ranas. Kingpins walk off the Lemurs 5-4. Anchorage 5-2 winners of the Swifties. Bruce City 7-2 winners. My beloved Bruce City Bears 7-2 winners over the Amarillo Armadillos. And then finally, the Hep Kitties pick up a 6-1 win over the Florida Flamingos. All right, I believe on my schedule it says Quick Sim. It is indeed a Quick Sim. Also, Ryan Lee I didn't see this, but Ryan Lee for a complete game shutout, so that's crazy. Okay, Quick Sim time. All right, I'm just going to pop this up and save real quick. And let's go for the box scores. 11-5, Toronto picks up the win over the Boise Raptors. Hold walk-off alert. San Antonio in 11 innings wins 5-4 Vancouver. What happened here? Oh dear. I'm gonna take a look at this box score. I've never seen this before. 8 runs in the ninth for Buffalo to pick up an 11-9 win. It looks like 2 free-run bombs in the same inning. Are you serious? I gotta go to the game log. I know I said I'm going to speed for the box scores. I want to pull up the bottom of the ninth in particular. How bad did this get? Double, single. Mayo hits an RBI single. Chiki-san hits a free run bomb. Maple grounds out. Shigeru comes in. Sahur doubles. Cheerios gets walked. Streamsong hits an error in the outfield. And then Slamson hits the walk-off. That is the... Oh, right. The 15-inning game. No wonder they got shelled. OBX is going to kill me for this. But sorry. You guys got walked off in the worst way possible. Let's resume. Providence 8-3 winners over the Voyagers. Nashville 9-6 winners over the Lunar Base Space Rangers. Rougarou 3-2 winners over the Death Valley Scorpions despite a late comeback. Toros 12-3 domination of the Sea Serpents. Apex dropped this one to the Demons 5-2. Let's go to the minors. Hep Kitties 2-1 winners of the Flamingos. State College 6-3 winners over the Anchorage Wheelers. The Armadillos lose to the Bears 8-6. Louisville 7-2 winners over the Kingpins. I like how nobody's dominating. There's a lot of parity in the minors so far. I like that. And Firehawks absolutely smoked the Rondas 12-1. So, yeah. Okay. Need that W. Yeah, good for you, Tampa. Good for you. Okay, next up. I know this is a stream game, and it's Boise and Toronto. Someone Lone Star's happy that's not his player. Okay. We're going to do this one. Boise and Toronto. No predictions. We're just going to go for a quick little analysis here. Both of these teams in the rebuild heavily favoring Boise. Boise, I think, is now trending in the right path. I really like what Razor is doing there. All the batters favoring Boise except for the leadoff and the 9-hitter spot, and the pitching is tied. Mixon looking for his first win of the season. Also, that ERA, I've got several questions. What's up with all these pitchers having high ERAs? PBE thing, I guess, but hi there. Hey, Dark Light, how you doing? 40 people in the chat. This is most I usually get on a stream. So anyway, without further ado, I present to you Boise, Toronto, Valor Sports Network style coverage. Let's load up here. All right, Mercantile coming up here. He's going to ground out to short to start us off. Mark Honcho coming up next. And he is going to ground out to the third baseman. Here's Rodrigo Wallach. That's through the gap for a base hit. Here's the hot-hitting Stewart. Nothing hot about that strikeout, though, as we see the player absolutely glitch for the pitcher. All right, Satchel Richards grounds out to short to start us off. Palindrome coming up next. That's going to drop in front of the right fielder for a base hit. Skatos is going to ground out to Von Pippington that is going to be a base hit. That is going to give Toronto the lead. It's a double, triple actually. If they don't throw him out here, it is indeed a triple. Sorry, my camera view. It's a smaller PC, so you can't see much wires. Oh, gets robbed by a diving grab there by Mercantile. So it's 1-0 Toronto after 1. Romain Gauthier is going to dribbler, and he's going to beat out the throw. Smirnov, former star, coming up here. Unfortunately, he's grounding into a double play. Here's Furcall Jr., who's going to take a free pass on a full count. Here's Honk Shu. Check swing. Did not go, so he's going to advance. And here's Stavinsky's. That's going to be a base hit. Are they going to send a runner? Yes, they will. Runner scores, but is he out at third? Yeah, he's out at third. Matthews is going to ground out the short. Lucas Ryan coming up next. He's going to get a base hit past the left fielder. Sebastian Primo coming up here. He's going to get a base hit. Mummerder Dog. That's going to be laced down. Base hit there. Easy double. And that's going to give Toronto the lead once again. Here's a Richards. Hammered. Deep left field. Kiss that baby goodbye. It's a free run shot. And second home run of the season for Satchel Richards. Here's Palindrome. It's going to fly to the center fielder. Here's Moscatos. It's going to walk. Von Pippington. Oh my goodness, that thing is killed. Kiss that baby goodbye. 7-1 Toronto. Nothing is going right for Marshmallow Jr. Here's Squires, who's going to ground out. No, it's an error. This is, oh my goodness, the nightmare inning continues for Boise. And they have no choice to pull him for Hugh Jazz. But luckily for him, he quickly gets an out. Finally, the top of the third. Mercantile gets a base hit. They got some work to do here. Honcho. Mercantile's going to get thrown out at second. Back to Honcho. Who gets a base hit? That's going to be a double for him. All right, Rodrigo Wallach is going to strike out here. Stewart, hot hitter. Fly ball to the right. It is going to be caught. Bottom third with Lucas Ryan. He's going to strike out here. Sebastian Primo. Fly ball to center. It's going to be caught. Murmur Dog. That's going to get shot down the gap. That's going to be an easy double for him. Back top of the order with Satchel Richards. He's going to ground to first. That's going to end the inning. Gauthier pops it up. Going to be caught by the first baseman in foul territory. What was that second baseman jumping for? Is his parents here? Samirdov's going to get a double here. Rafael Furcal Jr. full count. He's going to swing and ground out to first. Honk Shu is going to hit a great hustle there by the center fielder to get the out. Palindrome coming up here. He's going to line out to the first baseman. Mosquito's 3-1 count. He's going to draw a walk. Coughing on stream. Not good. Paddington Von Pippington is going to strike out here. Squires. Fly ball to left is going to get caught for the third out. Stavinsky's coming up here for Boise. Fly ball to center. Easily playable there. Cyan Mercantile coming up here full count. He's going to ground out to first. And here's Mark Honcho, formerly of Buffalo. He's going to strike out here. Bottom 5 with Bu Matthews. He's going to ground out to third. Lucas Ryan is going to strike out here. And now he's Primo. Also going to strike out here. Hugh Jazz has pretty much helped control this Toronto lineup so far. All right, here's Wallach. He's going to line out to the second baseman. Stewart, hot hitter. Fly ball, deep center. Kiss that baby goodbye. Ball go far. 10th home run of the season for Stewart. Also, high dish net. I stole your line. Gauthier, full count. Is that going to get out of here too? Yes, indeed. Kiss that baby goodbye for Romain Gauthier. And just like that, Boise's made this a game. And Bodie Grizz is now coming in, facing Smirnoff, who's going to strike out here. Furcal Jr. is going to get a base hit that drops in front of the left fielder. And here's Honk Shu, who's also going to get a base hit. And it's going to be a double. And Stavinsky's is finally going to put this rally to bed with a ground out to the shortstop. Bottom 6 we go with Monitor Dog. First pitch, he's going to swing and fly out to left. Then we go to Satchel Richards. He's going to ground out to third. Palindrome next. Who's going to ground out to the shortstop. All right, top 7 with Mercantile. Who's going to ground out to third. Honcho is going to ground out to second. Wallach, full count. Hard hit ball, but it's going to be a ground out to third. Christian Summers now pitching for Boise. Scato's is going to start off with a base hit there. Von Pippington, that is going to be dropped right in front of the left fielder. Oh, but an error. They try to send him the third, and as a result, that run's going to score to make this 8-3. Scato's is going to score from first. Squires is going to ground out here. Bu Matthews pop up to the shortstop for the second out. Lucas Ryan strikes out. Top of the 8th we go with Stewart coming up here. He's going to ground out to the shortstop. What a relay there. Gauthier coming up here. He's going to strike out. Smirnoff. He's going to get past the second baseman for a base hit. Furcal Jr. He's going to take a called strike free. Bottom 8th we go. Primo, base hit, past the shortstop. Border Dog. It's going to be a little dribbler. They get the out there. Looks like he slid off the bag once again. Satchel Richards. The game froze for me for a second. Sorry about that, but he grounds out there. It could be out second. Palindrome. He's going to ground out to first. New pitcher in. It's going to be Fire Aaron Boone, who's going to strike out Honk Shu. Last chance for the Raptors. Stavinsky's also going to strike out. And here's Burkatalk. Ground ball. That is going to end the game and give the Pathfinders an 8-3 win over the Raptors. Pretty good day. I think Von Pippington gets player of the game. 3 for 4, 3 RBIs. Mixon picks up the win, Mellow the loss. Paddington Von Pippington is your player of the game. I just want to check in on chat. Hi, Micro. How you doing? Yeah, not a good outing there for Toronto. All right, speed running scores. Vancouver 2-1 win in extras over the Sloths. OBX 9-3 victory over the Surge. Providence continues their very strong season with a 3-2 win over the Voyagers. New Orleans wins once again in Death Valley 5-4. 15-4 demolition of the Sea Serpents by the Toros. Nashville 2-0 win thanks to a dominant performance by Tugboat. Detroit 5-2 winners over the Apex. Now let's move on to the Miners. Amarillo 9-4 winners in Bruce City. Kingpins 3-2 win in 11 innings by Chicago Louisville. Florida 6-2 winners over the Hepcats. Anchorage 9-8 victory over the State College Swifties. And the Firehawks beat the Puerto Rico Jobbers 7-3. They're going to bother me to save. I will save. But if you're just joining me, we got hit by the news earlier in the stream that Alex Cora has been fired by the Red Sox. Despite winning against my Orioles 17-1, they did not like the slow start. They probably should have fired him after last night. Let's finish today, and it is an off day. Okay, that pretty much means I'm about half. We got 2 games for me to stream and a quick sim left. I said that this stream was going to be quick, and I'm going to do it that way. So that means we're going to finish today, and we have ourselves, I see why we put us here. It's a minor league game. We got ourselves Florida and Louisville. The batting matchup favors Louisville here. Let's see. Besides ties at the 4 spot and pitching, and also Florida has the advantage in the leadoff hitter in the free spot. Let's get underway for so Tampa believes scapegoating. Okay. Hi guys, this is PvE. We're just doing some sim games. You can make your own player. It's pretty cool. I'd say join us. Quick little advertising. Before we get going, I gotta catch my breath for a second. As I randomly drop something on my keyboard. Yeah, right. I don't think it needs it. Sorry. I'm gonna take a brief break. I'm just eating something real quick. And then we'll get back to the last two games. Because we got this, a quick sim, and then prime time number 8. Alright, folks, I'm back. Sorry about that. I was just limping everywhere. And I do see that we have a prediction up for Florida and Louisville. So I'm going to let that. That probably means the first time all night. Uh, I can let it take it slow. Let a few people predict. Oh, look at that. Pretty even bet there. A lot of money on the line. Might as well throw some big lemurs bet just came in too. And what was Valor eating? Well, it's just a simple orange creamsicle I had. So the reason why I'm doing this so fast is, uh, if I don't have a co-host for now long, I'm gonna go rapid fire. That's my only warning. Going forward, no co-host means rap. It's basically what I call this quick sim on steroids. So, without further ado, I think we've had this open long enough. Let's get into the game. All right, Louisville versus Florida. All right, McScooty Fortune, who was in the chat earlier. And we start off with a fly out to left. Dan Thunder, gonna have to practice some of these new Niner League names, is gonna fly out to left. Pollywag is gonna I thought he was gonna strike out, but instead the ground out. All right, Teddy Murakami pops this up, gonna be caught by the shortstop in the infield. Cal COVID, full count, gonna ground out to second. And Wet Sock. What the hell is that render? Grounds out to the shortstop. All right. Homer Simpson coming up here. He's going to ground out to the shortstop. Lionel McScallywags. That's a new name. He's going to strike out here. Sean Spencer. He's going to ground out to the shortstop. Oops, all ground outs. The game. Man Squatch. He gets momentum. Who's going to get a base hit? That is going to be a double. Hot hitting one. Oh no, this is the one name I feared. Jonathan Johnson, or J to the fourth power, is Jonathan Johnson is going to get a base hit. Andrew Brochacho, line drive, caught by the first baseman, almost a double play there. Samuel Sheeping is going to get the force out at second, but it is going to score a run for Louisville. And Diego Machado, the inning's going to keep going because there's another base hit for Adrian Allaire. And it's still going to keep going. Another base hit. The bases are now loaded for Murakami, who does absolutely nothing and strikes out anyway. Top third with Darius Maxwell, who's going to strike out here. Now we see Miles Phoenix, also a strikeout victim. Ozzie Batty, hammered deep left field. Kiss that baby goodbye for Ozzie Batty. It's tied at 1. Pimlingsman was doing pretty well here. And it looks like he's getting nervous. This big Scooty Fortune's going to draw a walk. Big base stealer. And late throw. Doesn't going to matter. Scooty Fortune's going to pick up her 17th stolen base of the season. Dan Thunder. It's going to continue. And this is going to give the Mingos the lead. Pollywag. And that's going to be a ground out to first. That's going to end the inning. Bottom third, we go with Cal COVID facing momentum. And he's going to strike out here. Wet Sock coming up now. That's going to get past the second baseman for a base hit. Here's the hot-hitting man Squatch. Wet Sock is going to steal second for his 20th stolen base of the season. Louisville loves stealing bases. But nothing cool about that strikeout there. Jonathan Johnson is going to ground out to third. That is not the new Francois Jock John Jr. name. I believe it is, but I'm not going to be fooled by that. Homer Simpson coming up here. He's going to draw a walk. Lionel McScallywags. That's going to be a base hit over the first baseman's head. Sean Spencer. That's going to be a fly out to left. Darius Maxwell. 2-1 count. Hammer hit well, but right to the right fielder. I almost said third baseman. Oh my God, what am I doing? Miles Phoenix. Oh, dribbler. It goes past, and as a result, that's a high throw, and Florida's going to add on to their lead. Here's Ozzie Batty. He's going to strike out here. But it's 3-1 Florida going to the bottom of the fourth with Andrew Brochacho trying to snap out of a cold streak. But he remains frozen because he grounds out to first. Samuel Sheeping coming up here. That's hit well. Deep center, not going to be deep enough. Caught by the center fielder. Diego Machado coming up now. Fly ball. Gonna drop for a base hit for Machado. And here's a layer. Adrian Allaire is going to hit a towering pop-up that's going to be caught there by the shortstop. That ends the inning. Back to the top of the lineup with McScooty Fortune, who's going to ground out to set. Oh, there's no throw. McScooty Fortune's going to get on. Dan Thunder, they're probably going to send McFortune again. Nope, base hit for Dan Thunder. Scooty Fortune's a speedster, and she's going to get to third easily. Pollywag. Ground ball. That is going to be a force out, but thanks to McFortune's high speed, that's going to make it 4-1. Homer Simpson coming up here. It's a pass ball. That's going to move Pollywag to second. And try again with Simpson. Who's going to take a call at strike 3? Scallywag's coming up now. Fly ball to center is going to be caught. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Let's see if Narukami can do anything. The only thing of note, I ground out the short. Cal COVID. He's going to draw a 5-pitch walk. Wet sock. They're going to send COVID, and he will be safe. Oh, but he throws it away. Not only is that going to be a stolen base, but it will also be an error. As a result, Wet Sox going to make him pay immediately. An RBI single to cut the lead in half. Mansquatch could tie it in one swing. They're going to send Wet Sox, and he's going to be safe. And Squatch is going to strike out here. And here's Jonathan Johnson, who's going to draw a walk. And here's Andrew Brochacho, cold hitter. And looks like he'll get out of that cold streak with the bases loaded now. For Samuel Sheeping. Fly ball to center. Is it going to drop? Nope, it's going to drop. All right, to the glove of the center fielder. So we go top 6 with Sean Spencer here, who's going to fly out to left. Maxwell coming up here, and he is also going to fly out to left. Man, you're giving that left fielder a workout today, huh? And here's Miles Phoenix, who, you guessed it, flies out to left. Oh my God. Oh, TP's so scripted. You cannot prove me wrong. Machado's gonna fly out to shortstop. Allaire is going to ground out to first. Narukami is going to strike out here. That's going to end the 6th. Top 7 we go with Ozzy Batty, who is going to get a dribbler past the first baseman for a base hit. McScooty Fortune. Bunt attempt. Grabs into a double play anyway. Dan Thunder gets a base hit that drops. Pollywag. And now Hank Hill's coming in. This game's brought to you by Propane and Propane Accessories as Cal COVID strikes out here. Wet Sock is going to get a nicely placed hit in the infield. Mansquatch. Wet Sox going to easily steal second again to go to 22 steals. Mansquatch full count, and he's going to draw a walk. And just like that, the tying runs at first. Jonathan Johnson. That's a base hit for him. The throw is going to be late. And now the go-ahead run is at second with Andrew Brochacho coming up here. He hits a towering pop-up. It's going to be caught there by the shortstop. And here's Samuel Sheeping. That's going to get by. 1 run's in. And this game is tied as a result of that single by Sheeping. Here's Diego Machado. He's going to ground out here, but not before the Lemurs tie the game. Here's Simpson. He's going to fly out to center field to start us off. McScallywags is going to get a base hit. Drops in front of the left fielder. Sean Spencer. He's going to ground into a double play. Bottom of the 8th we go with Adrian Allaire, who's going to fly out to center to start us off. Here's Teddy Narukami. That's hammered to right, but it's going to be a fly out. And here's Cal Kobe facing a full count. That's going to be a base hit. The go-ahead run now is at first with Wet Sock coming here against Junior O'Callahan. Kobe's going to steal, picking up his 23rd. And here's Wet Sock trying to drive in the run. No, he can't. He grounds out the second. We go top 9 with Darius Maxwell against Hank Hill, who flies out the center. Here's Miles Phoenix, who's going to ground out to second. Ozzie Batty coming up here. That's going to be a base hit. And here's McScooty Fortune, who's going to ground out here. We go bottom 9th. Can the Lemurs walk it off here with Man Squatch against O'Callahan? 3-2. He's going to get a base hit. Jonathan Johnson. Fly ball to left. It's going to get caught. Andrew Borchacho. Fly ball to center. Misplayed there. Here's the front. Here comes. It's going to be a double there. They're going to hold Squatch at third. Any ball deep enough hit here by Sheeping will end this game. And a pass ball, and that is going to end it. That's how the... Oh, that's a tough way to lose. A pass ball, and the Lemurs walk it off. Ouch. That is honestly one of the worst ways to lose a game. Woof. Yep. The bet just got paid out. Thank you. Hold on a second. Just make sure I'm in the right tab. Hank Hill picks up the win. Blew the blow and say Callahan. And Ozzie Batty's your player of the game. Alright, scoreboard speed run. Raptors 6-5 winners over the Pathfinders. Aviators 10-4 winners over the Surge. Voy Boys, despite a late comeback there by the Crabs, pick up a 4-3 win. Sloths 5-4 winners over the Vandals. Death Valley walks it off in 10 on the 3 runs in the bottom of the 10th to win 7-5. Toros 3-1 because they do not feel like playing Uma Musume apparently because they beat Majero McQueen. Nashville 6-2 winner. My player's allergic to hitting home runs. Apex 6-0 winners. Is that a complete game? Calm Chicken went 7-2 unearned. Good for him. Minor scores we go. Hepcats 5-0 winners of the Ranas. Kingpin 7-1 winners of the Wheelers. Bruce City 4-0 absolute dominant game from Adolphe Carter. Shout out to Cake. And Amarillo 5-2 winners over the Firehawks. And let's save here. And I believe our next game up is indeed a quick sim. So let's go on to there. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, speed run time. Aviators 11-3 winners over the Raptors. Province Crabs, thanks to a dominant start by Crabula from 5-2. Vandals 9-2 winners. Vandals 9-2 winners over the Voyagers. Surge 5-1 winners over the Pathfinders. Toros walk it off against the Demons 9-8. Nashville 10-1 winners over the Scorpions. Rougarou 12-2 winners over the Space Rangers. Apex 3-1 winners over the Sea Serpents. Let's go to the Miners. Hepcats, you're arguing with the robots. You can't beat the robots. They lose to the Ranas 7-5. Hang on, y'all. I'm gonna post something funny. I'm going to post something real funny. Hang on, chat. I have something for this. Where is the image? Alright, I'm gonna send this to Dame on Discord. And then I'm going to post it in the chat. I'm going to put this in the goddamn... Hang on. I'm going to add something real funny here. Hang on, y'all. This is what I call the don't lose to the Roba. Sorry. Alright, I'm just going to show this off now. Well, look at that. Don't lose to the bots, or from now on, you're going to get this graphic. Yep, it's fine. If you lose to the Ranas, you get this. Okay, enough of my trolling. Alright. Okay, let's get back to this. Wheelers win 8-4 over the Kingpins. Swifties, oh my goodness. They were not pleased as a result of that last game. 11-0 demolition of the Bears. Louisville 5-4 win on a walk-off against the Flamingos. And the Firehawks win 4-2 over the Dillos. Okay, final game of the day. And according to this, it is our last prime time. Lunar Base and New Orleans. Mods, can we have a prediction for this game? Please. If you don't mind. I want people to gamble their money away. Mods. Tampa, do you want me to send you the thing real quick? In case you want it. Okay, Tampa, can we get a prediction up for this game? New Orleans, Lunar Base, final game of the night. All right, thank you. And the bet we're looking for today is, does NOLA cover the spread? Do they win by 2 or do they not? Let's see. Now we're doing a guy. Now we're in a real betting line here. They're about 2-run favorites here. Let's see if you can put your money where your mouth is. Whoa, big 2K bet hammering the over. Let's see. Everything's running real smooth today so far, and I like it. I'm going to wait a little more to see if somebody else throws down a bet, or the house doesn't get anything because somebody wanted to throw 10,000. Oh, and we do have a quick little 100 bet. Someone's feeling real cheeky today. So let's get this up. All right. Final game of the stream. Lunar Base versus New Orleans. All right, here we go. Hopefully I don't have to pull up the Kevin Brown graphic again. Here we go in New Orleans. Firefly Bowler starting us off. And he's going to strike out here against Brian Eshelman the third. AJ Justice is going to ground out to third. Here's Durian Craig from Bear. Strikes out. So we start with T-Bowl Lefebvre going to strike out. Not strike out. He's going to ground out. Cindy Johnson here is going to strike out. Boucher. Fly ball to right. It's going to get caught. Here's Duke Nuke, some cold hitter, and it's over the shortstop's head for a base hit. Here's Link Allhouse. Oh, pickoff attempt goes horribly wrong. That's going to be an error there. It's going to put Newsome at second. Oh my goodness, a pass ball. What is New Orleans doing? Allhouse, fly ball, the center that's to right. That's going to be deep enough to score the run and give this a 1-0 Lunar Base lead. Here's Million Vega. who is going to get a base hit. Clark Max, recent call up, is going to strike out here. And here's the ever so reliable base stealer Enderman, who's going to get a base hit here. So that means you're blocked. Not worth it first. And a balk! Oh no, a balk gets called. But luckily it's not worth anything because it ends the inning. And here's Harry Callahan, the former Apex. Jackson Love coming up here, who is going to get the Rougarou's first hit of the game. Here's Ariel Dong. Love is going to steal second. Yordong's going to strike out here. Tater McCheesy, another recent call up. And kiss that baby goodbye for Tater McCheesy. The Rougarou are up 2-1 now. Ozzie Robinson, another recent call up, formerly of Louisville. He's going to get a gap shot off the wall. And here is Malcolm Kell. Towering pop-up there, going to be caught there by the second baseman. That's going to end the inning. Back into the top of the order for Lunar Base with Firefly Boy, who gets a ball past the third baseman for a base hit. AJ Justice. That is hammered. That's going to go straight off the wall. Takes a favorable bounce, though. And look at that speed in the third, and he's going to be in there. It's an RBI triple by AJ Justice, and this game is tied. Dorian Craig. He's going to get walked. Nukes him. That is going to be a fly ball to left, but a great throw there pretty much stops Justice from trying to go home. Althouse. Oh my goodness, great defense again by that left fielder. Oh my God. Jackson Love is going crazy. Vega. It's going to be a walk that loads up the bases for Clark Max. 2-2 count. Towering pop-up. Should be caught there by the third baseman. And yes, indeed. They load the bases and they can't score. Bottom of the third with Lefebvre, who's going to hit a towering pop-up caught by the second baseman. Here's Sydney Johnson. Full count. She's going to draw a walk. AJ Boucher strikes him out. No, they tried to. Boucher strikes out, but they said held up and didn't go. Callahan, fly ball. That's going to hit the top of the wall. They won't be able to score the run, though, as Sidney Johnson gets the stop sign at third. Love, fly ball to center, but it's played well. That's going to end this inning. It's tied at 2. And here's Enderman, who is going to get a base hit. And I think we all know what's going to happen next with him. Not with first coming up. He's going to steal. He's going to be safe. If you've been around PB for a while, you know Enderman's an elite base stealer. He's not worth it first, trying to score the run home. And that will indeed score the run home. It's an RBI single for him. Here's Firefly Boy, who's going to strike out here. AJ Justice. Over the second baseman's head. That's going to be a base hit. And by the way, Lunar Base is now leading. Here's Dorian Craig. That's going to get past the second baseman for a base hit. And it's going to load the bases with 1 out for Duke Nukesum. Can he nuke with grand slam? Nope, that's a small engine failure that ends up being a pop of the first. Althouse, pass ball. That's going to make this a 4-2 game. And that's going to be a bases clearing double there, making this 6-2. Not looking good for the Rougarou here. Here's Emilian Vega facing a full count. New pitcher in Johnny Tom, who's going to walk him. Here's Clark Max. And the hits keep on coming. It's going to load. Oh, are they going to try to get him at home? No. It's now 7-2 off that RBI single by Clark Max. And here's Enderman. They've batted around. Max is going to steal second. And Enderman's going to strike out here. What a disaster of an ending there by the Rougarou. They got some work to do down 5. And a good start, though, as Yordong gets a lightly tapped base hit. Tater McCheesy coming up here. It's a towering pop-up that's going to get caught by the first baseman. The hot-hitting Ozzie Robinson's coming up. And nothing hot about this force out at second. Malcolm Kell. Great defense there by the second baseman to produce that ground out. Top of the fifth, we go with Not Worth a First coming up to the plate against Johnny Tom. And there's a base hit. Is that really worth a first? Probably. Firefly Boy. Lines out through the shortstop. AJ Justice. Uh-oh. And kiss that baby goodbye for AJ Justice. 9-2. When it rains, it pours. Lunar base dominating here. 9-2. Dorian Cragg coming up here. That's going to drop for a base hit. Nothing is going right for the Rougarou today. Duke Newsom and a 4-pitch walk. Johnny Tom, you good? Link Althouse, full count. And he plunks him. Hit on the side. He's going to load the bases with 1 out for Emilian Vega. And this... Do they get the out? Yes, they do get the out at home, but unable to get the double play. Here's Clark Max. And that is going to drop right in front of the center fielder. 2 runs are going to score as a result, and it's 11-2. And here's Enderman coming up here. And this one doesn't drop, but once again, New Orleans' pitching has been getting destroyed here. And now here's Lefebvre coming up here. He's going to strike out here. Animal Kingdom's getting a lot of run support. Cindy Johnson facing a full count, and that's going to be a base hit past the shortstop. Maybe a little rally coming here. Boucher. No, it's just a force out at second. Callahan coming up here, and he's going to ground out to the pitcher to end the inning. Top of the 6th we go. Not Worth for first. He's going to strike out here. And now they pulled him out for Lilu Dallas multi-pitch. Firefly Boy's going to hit a towering pop-up that he gets caught there by the second baseman. AJ Justice, 2 outs. He's going to draw a 5-pitch walk. Dorian Cragg. Fly ball going to be caught there, pop up there by the shortstop. Bottom 6 we go with Jackson Love. Nothing lovely about that strikeout. Ariel Dong. Does he make the balls go dong? Nope, he gets a strikeout. Tanner McCheesy. There's nothing cheesy about that strikeout there. Animal Kingdom's been pretty good today. As we go top 7 with Duke Newsom. That ball wasn't nuked. It was to the third baseman for the first out. Link Althouse. I can't come up with a pun, and what the... That's a foul ball. Okay, that's a weird animation. He's going to strike out there. William Vega is going to... Tough play there by the shortstop, but he gets the out. Bottom 7. Ozzie Robinson coming up here. Strikes out. Animal Kingdom Day is done for Iron Rubbish. Good outing. 6 1/3. Only 2 runs there. Cal is going to get a double. Lefebvre is going to strike out here. Cindy Johnson. Fly ball to center is going to get caught, and that ends the bottom of the 7th. I already can see Rougarou fans leaving for the exits already. Not good. Clark Max gets a base hit. Enderman is going to strike out. Not Worth a first. He's also going to strike out here. Firefly Boy. Going to ground out. That's going to end the inning. Bottom 8 if they go. They're down by 9. With AJ Boucher coming up here. Who's going to ground out to third. Harry Callahan is going to strike out here. And finally, Jackson Love. Lines out to the second baseman. Top of the 9th, we go with AJ Justice. Full count. Oh, muff there by the right fielder. They're going to score this as a hit, double. Dorian Cragg. Going to ground out to the shortstop. Duke Newsom. Base hit. Is that going to be deep enough to score the run? No, it won't. Runners on the corners with 1 out for Link Althouse. He's going to strike out here. Emilian Vega strikes out here. Stops the bleeding. Last chance for the Rougarou. We have seen a crazy comeback earlier in the sim. Let's see how the Rougarou can do it here with Ariel Dong. And a good start with a 4-pitch walk. Tanner McCheesy. Base hit. Runners on first and second. Nobody out. Robinson. Base hit. The bases are loaded with nobody out from Kell. It's a pop-up here that's no runs are going to advance. Lefebvre. Base hit. That's going to get down. 1 run's in. And that's going to cut the lead down to 8. Sidney Johnson. Fly ball that's going to get caught. Pop up by the shortstop. Boucher. That's going to get down. 1 run's in. 2 runs are in. It's a bases clearing double. And the lead's down to 5 on their last strike. Callahan. Now Braxton coming for the save. And he'll strike him out. What a good attempted rally by the Rougarou, but it's not enough to overcome the deficit. Lunar Base takes this one 11-6. And your player of the game is A.J. Justice. 3 RBIs. And then finally, the score blitz of the day. Crabs go to 20-7 with a 4-3 win over the Sloths. Vandals 3-2 winners against the Voyagers. Surge 4-1 winners of the Pathfinders. Raptors 4-2 win over the Aviators. Demons, thanks to Aria Blue Sky being dominant again, picks up a 7-5 win over the Toros. Death Valley stealing one thanks to a 4-for-4 day from Launch Angle. Was Nashville and Providence both finished with the same record of 20-7 at the end of this week. 8-5 win for the Scorpions. And then finally, Sea Serpents, thanks to a dominant start from Taco Bell. A 5-0 win. And then we go to the minors. Wheelers, 6-5 winners in extras in 10 innings. So, yeah. Lemurs, 3-1 winners of the Mingos. Hepcats, 4-1 winners of the Ranas. I don't have to show that graphic. Wild one, Bruce City does not beat State College 10-7. And then finally, the Devils win 7-3 over the Firehawks. And let's save. And let's prepare to upload the file. That's good. That's good. And let's do this. And you know what happens now. Yep, it's indeed time to ask the booth. Oh yeah, thanks to chat for telling me that Justice was thing on for the cycle. I do see that Mothership is on right now. I would like for us to set up a raid to go there once we're done with the upload. And yeah, Voyagers must be Voyagers pretty much. And there's Slacking King with a 1 million PV dollar upload. Thank you for that. We will get that to you as soon as possible. All right. Any questions for me tonight about what's been going on the PBE? Before we go off the air, I will show off the standings. I think arguably the biggest Providence being at the top is not surprising in my opinion. But I think the real surprise I think Nashville leading that division is a surprise to me personally. Slacking asks, what's the best team? Why is it the Crabs were kind of the favorite to win the season anyway. They do got a very strong pitching rotation. Your bats are pretty good. But there's some, or else, I see. Yeah, you gotta say, I feel like you guys are due for a World Series run. You haven't won the World Series in a long time. According to Haycub, who is our streamer, Nashville and Detroit were almost equal strength-wise for the top of the Champions Conference. According to our testing here at Nashville, we believe that Detroit was the better team. Maybe because I think the sim has been liking our rookie players, like, my player, for example, for a couple sims was the home run leader for a while. But I figured my player was due for a crash back to earth by 2 games. Yeah, very slim margin, makes sense. All right. This is the slow part where it generates all the reports. So, all right. This is the long part. Okay. Any more questions for me? For like what's been going on? Went from ace to pin. Oof. It's like Spaceballs. Mega Man going from suck to blow. Hmm. All right. This is where I'm going to start. At the end of the stream, I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm going to give a few shout outs to people. First thing I want to note is talking about a couple other leagues. Here, I like to shout out. Of course, shouting out our lovely stream department here. If you guys are looking to get yourself a nice league job, it pays a lot, and you can earn yourself a PT pass and a championship league pass, week pass that you don't have to worry about doing your PTs ever again. I highly recommend applying for the host streamer job here. So you can help me and Jacob not be the only two people streaming games. You get paid for every stream you do. You get paid a nice $9 million for each stream you do. You only have to do two or four of them. If you do 4 streams, you're not only earn enough for your equipment for your season that pays that off, but you don't have to worry about doing a PT or championship week ever again. So I highly recommend you apply for this job. It's pretty easy to learn. It's a little difficult to set up on OBS, but I highly recommend. Look, I'm using a mid setup here, but I think it can be pretty easy for you guys to set this up. I'm willing to help out with some of the inboarding in case you guys need someone to do it. We also have draft graphics applying. You want to make some cool renders. The draft graphics are always the first impression for a user to know which team they're going to. So, in my opinion, if you're really good at you don't have to be good at graphics. We could teach you the craft on how to do it. So, all right. Besides Nashville, I would like to ask some of the chat. I argue a big surprise is somebody underachieving. I gotta say the Apex have been playing around 500. I thought the Apex would be a dark horse team this season, but it appears I think their window is coming to an end. Another thing is Seattle was riding the back of Majero McQueen last year. Voyager's not being 500. Yeah, sounds about right. Personally, I think it's because a lot of their pitching is starting to get eaten by regression. It happens. You have a dominant run event, all of a sudden regression. Yeah, Voyager's not being good is a big surprise to me. I thought they had a decent chance of repeating, but it looks like I think their window is coming to an end and that a rebuild isn't coming soon for them. It's a rare time you see an Enoch team not do very well. There's a good reason why him and Person Man have been the managers for the Voyagers and Scorpions respectively for such a long time, many years. Yeah, Providence I figured was going to pass them at some point. It's kind of the same here with Detroit. They're at the peak of their window now, but Nashville's going to pass them. Yeah, they're just having some bad sim luck. I do agree. I think Nashville and Detroit's going to be a great. They're going to have, I think, some of the best records. Now, if I were to create a tier list of how the teams are doing, the cream of the crop right now, I'm going to say, is Providence, Cancun, Nashville, Detroit. And who is winning that? Oh, God. Sloth's division is always bad. I don't know why. Sloths, I think it's the Vandals, but I don't think the Vandals have been the same team. I just can't put them in the same tier. I'll just put them in the tier below. I call this the Vandals tier. And then the two bottom feeder teams this year appear to be Toronto and Buffalo. And then everybody else is what I call mid card hell. Uh, any more questions for me before we get this going? Yes, we're going to go to Mothership. That's the plan. Once I upload the index, all right. I'm going to go find the little thing because I texted this to Lone Star so I can remember. Tampa, could you set that up for me, please, if you don't mind? All right, to save this easy, I'm using Dame as my reference point here. So I have the link ready whenever I need to. Once we're done uploading here, I'm gonna before we do that, I'm going to show off the standings while I run the process that updates the index. All right, I'm going to turn off the Ask the Booth now. Oh yeah, and I'm going to show this. For those who are new to the thing, the new thing this season here is what I decided to do. It was a joke in the streamer chat. I said like, if someone lost to the Ranas, there was a funny quote of the Orioles broadcast when they were playing the Twins in the opening series, where the Twins manager got ejected for arguing an ABS call, and Kevin Brown, the Orioles commentator, made this funny line that says, "He's arguing with the robots. You can't defeat the robots." That is funny because you got ejected for arguing with a robo ump. So from now on, because we have a bot team in the Ranas, if you lose to the Ranas, at least on when I'm streaming, you will get this graphic. So yeah, going forward, this is the new meme graphic I had. Yes, I am stepping up my game this time around. A little bit more shit posterist. That's what I'm trying to go with this. So that's just my warning. You lose to the Ranas, you get this graphic. And now it just disappears. Yeah, I've gotten better at transitions. This is what I have to do for because I sim in ISFL now. Yeah, I'm a 2 league simmer now. So a lot of people are wondering why I'm trying to run this quick, and there's a good reason. I'm trying to keep this under 2 hours. Uh, I've been hurting a little bit this afternoon. I don't know what happened, but I think I tweaked a muscle in my leg. Not sure if it's my tricep. I think it's a let me take a look at what I thought it was. I think it could be my calf. Maybe that's hurting. I think it's my thigh or my groin I must have injured. Thigh, groin, or quad. I think I sprained my muscle there, which is why I feel like immense pain when I put my hand on the that muscle. That ends up being the All right, we're just about ready to finish up here for the upload. I'm going to pull up the standings. I'm going to run the index updated. And once I say the index is uploaded, we will go raid Mothership. As we're about to finish up the last of the file upload. I'm going to go into the chat and say that the most recent info. Oh no, Sen just sent me a meme about the name. Oh no. All right. Report is done. Let me pull up the standings real quick. Here's your major standings. As you said, Voyagers 5 games below 500. They have been cold. 2-8 in their last 10. The teams that are white hot right now, New Orleans won 8 of 2. Nashville's won 8 of 2. 7 of 3 for the Toros. They've been pretty good. And over in the minors, there's been a lot of parity this so far. 3 teams at 18 wins: the Dillos, Wheelers, and Lemurs, followed by the Hep Kitties. And reminder, the top 6 teams standing wise, regardless of how they are in the division, gets into the playoffs. And I am now going to hang on. I'm in talk with Damer. All right, I'm going to begin the index upload, which means that we're just about ready to almost wrap this up. I'll let you guys know it'll take like a minute or two to run the index update. All right, it's going to take a little bit of time to pull the update. It imports all the data from this current file into a little thing that updates our index. Yeah, it looks like you made it to the end of the stream where I'm talking about the standings. Do you want to see a specific position of your team? Like, do you want to see how OBX is doing right now? All right. Since your OBX is co, I'm going to show you where you guys are. You guys are currently sitting at 13 and 14 and are currently in a wild card spot. Man, that whole conference is bad. Do we seriously only have the division winners above 500? What is going on here? This is probably the most... It's still early. We still got 3 weeks left in the regular season. But this is just crazy, in my opinion. All right, folks. Let me take a look to make sure the date is on here correct. Yep. And I do see the date. All right. I'm just going to go update the thing to say what date is. Date in sim 5/24/2077. And with that, we are going to go raid Mothership. Thank you guys for listening in. And this is Valor. I am signing off for the night. Well, we will see you guys on Tuesday for the beginning of week 2. And I will see who's on the schedule for that day real quick. And it will be Jacob again. 7 p.m. same time. All right, good night everybody. And let's go raid Mothership OTP Developments. Let's go say hi to Dish.